Today we have a TV matchup in the heavyweight division, the TCL QM8K versus the Sony Bravia 7. Up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me for today's comparison of the TCL QM8K versus the Sony Bravia 7. Both are mini LEDs. The TCL is 85 inches and the Bravia 7 is 75 inches. Forgive me, I don't have the same sizes. The reason why I want to do this comparison is many of you are looking to buy right now, and the Bravia 7 at 85 inches is exactly the same price or nearly the same price as the TCL QM8K. This is an amazing comparison. I hope you enjoy. Without further ado, let's check out the 85-inch TCL QM8K versus the 75-inch Sony Bravia 7. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. Build quality and design. Standard remote on the Sony Bravia 7, a more premium metal remote on the TCL QM8K. This is also on the QM9K. You have a borderless design on the QM8K, where you can see the matrix border on the Bravia 7 is more pronounced. Not bezel-less, but borderless on the QM8K on their ultra premium lineup. On the Bravia 7, you have a two-legged stand, both narrow and wide positions available. Also one that is flush and a raise to make room for a soundbar. QM8K has a single center stand metal. It is in its lower position. It also has a raised position as well. You can see the borderless design. It does have a thin metal bezel and it is silver, very small premium QD mini LED badging. You can see the matrix border, but a very small silver bezel on the Sony Bravia 7 as well. Now, the Bravia 7 looks just like the Bravia 9 and the Bravia 5, but they are all very premium. Textured back. You have your 4 HDMI, 2 or HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 120. Detachable power cable. Detachable power cable on the QM8K. Bang & Olufsen sound system on the QM8K. You also have your 4 HDMI, 2 are capable of 4K 144 Hz. So you have 2 HDMI 2.1 on both displays. The thicknesses between the two are relatively similar, considering they are both very high-end mini LED. Both have very similar build quality. As I mentioned, the Bravia 7 is very similar in design to the Bravia 9 and even the new Bravia 5 with subtle differences. All are very premium. Let's look at the differences in anti-reflective screens. If you look at the Bravia 7, you have a semi-gloss versus a glossy QM8K. The QM8K does better with reflections. Forgive me for not showing sunshine. It's been raining over here and very dark. But the QM8K does have better reflection handling, even though it is more glossy. Show you different angles of the room. You can see the screen behind me and the TVs behind me. So the reflection handling for a glossy screen is excellent on the QM8K compared to my G5. Quickly, bravo to TCL though. I mean, the changes they've made in their design over the years has to be applauded, especially in this ultra premium lineup that they have. Ridiculous design that they've been able to achieve in just a few years. Let's go into our picture preset overview. This is where I perceptually match each TV. And for me, the picture presets are very important as we go from movie to cinema, from filmmaker to professional, matching these up. But what you're gonna see on the QM8K and the Bravia 7 is the standard preset on the Bravia 7 is very similar to the sports, standard, and then intelligent preset on the QM8K. So we'll match those up throughout the video, those three presets versus the one standard preset for Sony, and we'll leave them here on their vivid, most bright preset. Now, dealing with mini LEDs, you're talking about high peak brightness. The QM8K is the brighter TV. It won't always appear that way, as again, each preset is approached very differently by each brand. So it's very important for you to like what that manufacturer's interpretation or signature of that preset is. Each TV is very bright. The edge is here to the QM8K, but as I mentioned, it doesn't always show up in content. Both are plenty bright. What are your thoughts? What do you see in the comments as far as these two in their most vivid and vibrant preset? A very special shout out to the one and only Jennifer Gala and her second channel, HDR Super Channel. The majority of content seen within this video and intro is from both of those channels. Please consider becoming a Patreon to Jen's main channel and get all of this amazing content on your next TV. Check the description below for links to both channels. Thank you so much, Jen. So why am I comparing the Sony Bravia 7 and the TCL QM8K? In my opinion, the QM8K matches up better with the flagship Bravia 9, which also, like the Bravia 7, carries over and is a current TV. And spec-wise, it would really give the advantage to the TCL QM8K and even the TCL QM9K, but price-wise is where you guys do most of your comparisons. And right now, the Sony Bravia 7 at 85 inches is very similar to the 85-inch TCL QM8K. This is why I compare them. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the same size TVs, and I'm very proud of the access that I have. Believe me, I do push to hold on to these TVs as long as possible. These comparisons are not easy to film. There's about 200 clips in this video, and I know these videos are very long, but I much rather show you the TVs as much as possible. I show up in the intro just to say hello, and you're never gonna see me again. This is the kind of content that I love to make, and I love to see myself. I really want to showcase what each manufacturer is bringing to the table. You're never going to see these two TVs compared anywhere else. In the store, you're never going to see them side by side. So I'm very proud of my ability to bring you this content. I apologize that they're not the same size. I apologize that videos are long, but I'm not sorry because I love doing this content, and the TVs are the stars, not me. Now, quickly, why I say that is I get a lot of complaints that the videos are too long. I also get asked why I'm not in the videos more, and I simply don't want to keep jump cutting back to my face to keep saying, hey, I'm not AI, hey, I'm a real person. I really don't like that content myself, and I want to be able to show you the TVs again side by side. This time of year, this kind of content is very important as you're looking to see what to buy. We have crazy amount of matchups coming up in the next few weeks, all until Black Friday. So I thank you so much for being here with me as I compare these two amazing TVs. And also, the goal in using Jennifer Gala's content is we're pushing these TVs from 2,000 nits all the way up to 10,000 nits. This will show you the differences of each display. My goal is to not make them look exactly the same. Yes, I could put them in filmmaker and professional and call it a day, give you a 10-minute video, thanks for watching. It would be the same amount of views for me. My goal is to show you the presets, all of them, so you can see how the TVs will look in your home, not in some studio where it's not realistic. Look at the differences in the highlights between the two. The differences in colors, even though they are perceptionally matched, the temperatures are the same and the presets do match up well. They do have very distinct differences that you're going to notice when you bring the TVs home. Let's move into the most important part of mini LEDs, and that's local dimming. Moving into the local dimming drip from Jennifer Gala, this is a punishing test, and they both look amazing. And see that the Bravia 7 is actually brighter initially, and the QM8K gets brighter as the screen fills up. Now, dead center local dimming on both is excellent. The QM8K has a new WHVA panel with better viewing angles. The Bravia 7, if it does have an Achilles heel, it is not the best viewing angles, not in terms of color, but local dimming, which you'll see in a moment. Otherwise, dead center blooming is non-existent. Moving over to the Bravia 7 off angle, you'll start to see a little bit of a purple tint blooming there off angle. Now you have to go pretty far off angle, but it is there, and much less on the TCL QM8K. This is why spec-wise the QM8K and the QM9K match up better with the Sony Bravia 9, which has better local dimming and better off-angle viewing. But the Bravia 7 dead center is excellent. You'll see that here with our black bar test. What is interesting is on the Bravia 7, you'll see a bit more blooming at the bottom of the frame. The QM8K won't have any blooming, but the bottom, you'll see this in a moment, actually lights up. It's not blooming, it's just brighter at the bottom as you see here. Very interesting result. Again, both look excellent dead center. Let's move into one last test for our local dimming. This is a very hard test, as well as you have the smoke and the steam everywhere, and in the next shot you'll also see the rain falling. I'd give the edge here to the QM8K, which most likely has a larger zone count, and again, higher end specs. The Bravia 9 would have a better result, but still an excellent job by both TVs. Now again, for me, these comparisons are very important as you are looking to purchase your next TV right now, and the prices are falling. The challenge with both Sony and TCL is pricing. Sony is priced higher, but obsolescence is less of an issue. As I mentioned, the Bravia 7 does carry over. So if you bought it last year, you still have a current TV. Same with the Bravia 9. Where TCL is very aggressive, they do have large jumps in their design and the specs inside the display each and every year. So is that fear of, do I buy this now and have it replaced by a superior TV next year? Either way, both are excellent. Love both TVs, but comparing these two is very interesting. They both have an excellent 3D effect in this depth of field shot. Both look absolutely beautiful. Let's move into some quick motion between standard and sports on the QM8K. Fast motion. Both have a lot of features that you can change. Again, the QM8K has a sports preset, intelligent, and the standard preset that match well with Sony's one standard preset. Now, as far as processing, Sony is legendary in this industry, especially with the XR cognitive processor, but I would argue that TCL each and every year has large leaps and bounds, much more from the previous year. So they do get very close in terms of its image processing and upscaling, which you'll see a little bit later in our legendary Colombo test. But what are you seeing so far in the comments? I also premiere each and every video, which means I take the time to sit and watch with you guys, and we chat in the comments together. I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up for these premiere videos. But what are you seeing as we turn the lights back on? Has TCL gotten to the point in image processing to catch up to Sony? So it's not really just about value and specs. They're actually converging at that top of the processing part of where Sony really does reign supreme. Now let's talk about the different approach of each manufacturer in 2025. Sony had only two higher end, more premium models this year. In mini LEDs, they only had the Sony Bravia 5, and in their flagship or higher end, they had the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II QD OLED. The Bravia 5 then dovetailed with the Bravia 7 and the Bravia 9. Both of those TVs carry over. You're seeing the Bravia 7 here. So a very different way of approaching their TV lineups each year. Sony now carrying TVs over, giving each TV a couple years, making them the current models, where TCL much more aggressive in their lineups. And TCL, in my opinion, have the best year of any TV brand out there with the QM6K, QM7K, QM8K, and the QM9K. The X11K is a more cinema-based TV, which is available to buy, but not available for us to review. But their new lineup, again, QM6K, excellent, QM7K, same thing. That should be compared to the Bravia 7 in terms of specs, and the QM8K and QM9K that you see here. So matching up, the QM6K should match up with the Bravia 5, QM7K with the Bravia 7, QM8K with the Bravia 9, QM9K with the Bravia 9, but price-wise, they really don't match up, which is why you're seeing these two TVs matched up now. Now, leaving our more accurate presets, we're going to put on some more vivid content from Jennifer Gala, and we're just going to move around the presets. I've done this a few times in the video. And the reason why I like showing you this is even though the QM8K might be brighter, I like seeing how they do approach each preset and showing you how you can go from vivid to standard down to a more movie preset, and then the filmmaker mode and professional modes on both. What TCL has also done excellently the last few years is give you a true filmmaker mode. Now, it might not be the brightest, but it can be the most accurate, and it is the most accurate, but they've lacked that in the past. So it's cool to see the different presets and go through them several times in the video. We're going to finish up with one of my favorite demos from Jennifer Gala. It's very important to look at the shadow detail in the back on the Bravia 7, which is what Sony is known for. Most shadow detail with them. Sony rather leave a little bit of blooming to be able to show you the entire image. But as you can see, the differences in brightness aren't always evident. What are you guys seeing in the comments? Let me know. Now we're nearing the end of our video, and before we do, we're going to move into Netflix and check out Dolby Vision with Godzilla -1. Now keep in mind the QM8K also has HDR10+, and the Sony is limited to Dolby Vision and HDR10. What you're seeing is Dolby Vision Dark, Dolby Vision Bright on both, and then the QM8K has Dolby Vision IQ, which looks virtually the same as Dolby Vision Bright. However, Sony has Dolby Vision Vivid. So point of fact, the brightness on Dolby Vision is brighter on the Bravia 7 if you want to use Dolby Vision Vivid, which I never do, but they are very comparable to one another. If you do use Dolby Vision Vivid on the Sony, go into the color and warm it up, but Dolby Vision Bright looks excellent on both TVs. Dolby Vision implementation is very important considering how much Dolby Vision is on Netflix. On Amazon Prime, you'll see more HDR10+. Love this shot from Godzilla -1 as the specular highlights in Godzilla's mouth are evident. Tell me the differences that you're seeing. Again, Sony does have Dolby Vision Vivid, which I don't ever use, but if you do use it, just warm it up, lower the sharpness, and you'll be fine. Again, stick with Dolby Vision Bright, at least in my opinion. They both look excellent. Also, TCL's Dolby Vision implementation has improved each and every year, and this year, look how close it is to Sony, which really shows you the amount of processing that they have changed. Let's move into the legendary upscaling Colombo. And again, look how close the TCL QM8K is to the Bravia 7, and the Bravia 7 upscaling is Sony's strength, and TCL is right there, but I'd still give the edge to Sony in this regard. Look how close TCL is. Let's go into some gaming on the PS5 Pro. Now we're really going to focus just on picture quality in terms of the game modes. The TCL QM8K is the superior gaming TV. It's actually not close. The game modes do look very similar and do look great. But as far as the specs, the QM8K has 4K 144. It also has 1080p 288 hertz. Both have very similar game bars with 3 different picture presets, but the edge is definitely going to go to the QM8K as far as being the better gaming TV. Now, Sony also has an excellent game mode in terms of the looks of it. It's also fine for both console gaming and PC gaming, but if you want to really go that next level, the QM8K has an easy win here in terms of specs. Also, the brightness does show up more in certain games, especially Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotai. They do look much brighter on the QM8K. A lot of the games did look similar in terms of the brightness, but if you look here at Ghost of Yotai, it definitely pulls away in terms of its brightness and HDR impact. Now, both are mini LED, and you can see the differences in brightness, and both have very effective local dimming in game mode. I would argue that the TCL has more image flexibility, but they are mini LEDs. In many ways, the game modes look how they look. Now, while the QM8K is a good deal brighter in this game, which is why I'm going to also show you Ghost of Tsushima, as they are from the same studio, I did notice a big difference in brightness with virtually every other game that I saw. But I did want to highlight these titles simply because they do look that difference in brightness, and keep in mind that the QM8K is the brighter TV, and in game mode that may show up more. With Sony, the tone mapping, gradation preferred, and brightness preferred look very similar, where there is different looks in the tone mapping for the QM8K. So you will have more headroom, but the Bravia 7 on its own is plenty bright, and as I've showed you in other games, it looks virtually the same in terms of its brightness. Let's check out some quick SDR gaming so you can see how they look virtually the same in terms of their brightness and SDR. Both look very colorful and vibrant in both SDR and HDR gaming. Both are excellent. Again, I give the edge to the more highly spec'd TCL QM8K. Now, as we wrap up, the QM8K is the more advanced TV in terms of AI, and it will be updated more with Gemini that matches the QM9K. It is the more elaborate in regards to smart TV features, and again, it's going to be updated to be even more so. And the QM8K also has superior sound with the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Now, the Bravia 7, in terms of its smart features, is fine as it compares to many modern TVs. QM8K just is doing more as it is part of their ultra premium lineup. And back to audio, the Bravia 7 can get very loud and works very well in tandem with the Theater Bar 9 and the Theater Quad. The QM8K has the edge in both smart features, AI, and sound. As I mentioned earlier, the Bravia 9 is a better comparison in terms of specs with the QM8K. However, the QM8K would still have the edge there in terms of AI and sound quality. In closing, I absolutely love what I do. Comparing these two monsters is absolutely amazing. You tell me which one you prefer and which one wins. I don't choose a winner. Throughout the video, I'll give you my feedback, but you need to tell me which one you think wins and which one you would prefer. The future is very bright for mini LED, but I recommend picking up either one of these right now. I'm Brian, this is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Love you guys. Take care.
It's better to burn.